I'll take it to a certain extent. I don't think to a large extent we actually know what's actually happening at the moment. But a lot of us are just guessing. We've got these lovely strategies and they're fantastically useful, but there are tons of things that are just going on. We're overloaded by information. There's incredible complexity out there. So lots of the time, people spend their time walking around going, and very occasionally you stumble across something that really, really works for you, and you do it, and it's going really, really well, and then something changes, and all of a sudden what was working for you is no longer working for you. So it could be the way that you share your message, or your way that you explain your business, or your business was doing really well, and then something changes like the economy, and everything goes down the pan. And then what do you have to do? You have to try and work out what are the new rules? How does it work? How's it all? And all of a sudden you spend ages, and you might get it right next time, or you might not. Or people start businesses and do very well, and then they say fantastic, they cash out their business, and they start another business, and that doesn't do well, and they don't kind of understand why. So am I the only one that gets confused in the world by all these different things? Yeah, it's kind of confusing out there. I was very confused in my early years, and I was spending my whole time trying to understand the world, and I just couldn't make sense of it. And then when 35 years ago, I went to America, and I went basically there to take drugs and have a good time. That's what I wanted to do. But I accidentally started working at an acupuncture college, and I had to start studying acupuncture. And I remember sitting in the first lesson when they talked about the 5 energies, which we're going to talk about shortly. And who's seen the film The Matrix? Yeah? You know when they're watching the screen and suddenly they're reading this code? Well, it was like that for me in that moment in time. I had the 5 energies, and suddenly I understood why I was as I was. I understood my problems, and that moment in time I understood how the world worked. It was like suddenly I saw the code. It was very, very strange as an experience. And I've spent the last 35 years explaining to people the code, how it works, helping deal with complexity. It's what I'm passionate about. Men are meant to think about sex every 2-3 minutes. I don't. I think about this all the time, very sadly. That's what I do. So, we're going to start off spending a little bit of time looking at the 5 energies. There are building blocks. When we understand them, we can get to understand certain things. The 5 energies come from ancient China 3,000 years ago, and they were used to build kingdoms and businesses, and they were used in schools and education. And then the information was lost over a 15-year period when all the books were burnt except the medical ones, which is where I got this stuff from. The rest of the books were just burnt over 15 years. Has anyone taken the vitality test? A few people have taken it, yeah? Doesn't matter if you haven't. I'm not too upset. So what we'll do is we'll whisk through the energies. Now the important thing is that everything has a balance of 5 energies. That's what the Chinese understood. Everything, you, me, economics, everything has this balance of these 5 energies. Now it's important with these energies, I don't want you to learn them. I don't want you to say, oh, I must in the handout, I've got the back sheet, it's got a list down of the energies. What I want you to do is just get a sense of them. Get a sense of what they're about. Okay? You okay with that? So, we'll start with the water energy. They're kind of easy to remember because each one is related to a particular season. So the water energy is related to winter. And in winter, it's cold. It's about surviving. So the water energy is about surviving, sustainability. The water is the only energy that really leaves its mark upon the earth. Think about the Grand Canyon, think about glaciers. So water as an energy leaves its mark upon the earth. So water energy is about leaving your legacy, leaving something behind, having a deeper purpose, a bigger why. So people with a lot of water energy in their profile and their personality will be driven to leave something behind them in a completely different way. If you haven't got a lot of that energy, it doesn't mean you won't. You're just driven to do things in this particular way. If you have a lot of a massive big purpose, sometimes you can have real problems with your own sustainability. You may be massively interested in the sustainability of the planet, but you'll burn yourself out trying to solve that problem. So we have with the energies, we have a problem. We have, where we are brilliant, we're also flawed. Later we'll look at the earth energy, where people are brilliant at looking after others and terrible at looking after themselves. So every energy has a duality. You're brilliant, you're extraordinary, and you're flawed, all in the same areas. Water energy is something about risk. So Richard Branson has a lot of water energy. Okay? He is always doing something about risk. Our airlines, why are airlines successful? Why do you fly in a plane?
Because they're safer than driving.
You can do it to get places. Okay. Do you choose an airline based on what? Yeah, you think you're choosing it on price. You think you're choosing it on convenience. But if there was a choice between an airline that said, we should get you there, but we're not 100% sure, but we've got very funky adverts, and you should see the hostesses. They're gorgeous, but you might not get there. So everything Branson does is about safety. Financial stuff is all about safety, because he has a lot of water energy. He also has a lot of fire, which makes him funny, and his adverts are and red. But it doesn't matter how funny the airline is. If it crashes, it's not good. So his primary energy is saved. If you have a lot of water energy, you can also be terribly risk-averse. You can be scared. Or you might sometimes always be testing out whether you are scared. So what I think I'll do is I'll fly in a hot air balloon into outer space and see how I get on. That's what he does. He's trying to work out, is he scared or isn't he scared? He's always testing it. Water energy is all about reflecting. So at the end of the day, it's a water energy phase. You reflect at the end of the day. You also rest and you're still. What do you do in winter? You rest and you're still. Okay, you getting a sense of this? Yeah? Water energy types often can see the past and they can see the future. And they have this bigger perspective. So they're sometimes quite good at seeing how things fit together in a big way. They have a big perspective. And they have these visions for the future. JFK, Kennedy, big vision for the future, sending man to the moon. He had again. And the other thing they have is high authority. They're often naturally very authoritative. So even at a young age, they can often do things. People that sell high-level tickets often have a lot of water energy because you trust them in a different way. Bernie Madoff, the investor. You often see water types have these big, strong jaws. Tony Robbins, big, strong jaw, always playing with risk. I'll get you to walk on fire. That'll stop you being afraid. Now you'll have burnt feet. I'm not stupid. We okay with that energy? Wood energy, it's associated with spring. So in spring, we have a number of things going on. We have an acorn, it has a tension to it. So people with a lot of wood energy have a tension, a tightness. They're controlling, they like things to be done in a certain way. They also, that acorn knows absolutely it's going to be an oak tree. It doesn't think, I might be a sunflower. It thinks, I'm going to be an oak tree. So people with a lot of wood energy, they like to know and like to have a plan. They absolutely, absolutely hate chaos. Look at that chaotic picture of spring. It's chaotic. People with a lot of wood energy hate chaos. So what they'll sometimes do is they'll sometimes get something like a piece of paper and draw a plan on it. You know what I mean? A whole big strategy on a piece of paper. Derry. He's got a lot of wood energy. Hates control. Monique has a lot of wood energy. I've got a lot of wood energy. What we don't like is chaos. So what we do is, our value is, I don't like chaos, I'm going to try and make sense of everything. And our value to you is because we don't like chaos. That's our value. We don't like chaos. So we deal with chaos. Suki doesn't like chaos. He also has a lot of another energy, which he wants to make things really simple. He's not simple, but he makes things simple. The blossom also has to make a judgment. It has to make a judgment when the correct time to come out is. So people with a lot of wood energy are often, you see them as judges. And they could be brilliant at judges, and then you find in the newspaper they've been caught in the car with a prostitute. So they're brilliant in one area and flawed in another. People with a lot of wood energy will stand up and defend others against anyone. People in the army, regulations, rules, I like everything to be controlled, and I will defend this country. So that can begin, it's their value. I will defend others. And they're able to live in the rules. Fire energy, related to summer. So summer, first of all, remember the blossom? All the little bits of blossom? Summer, they turn into little apples. Those apples the tree has got to be selective, hasn't it? It can't support every single apple. So what the tree does, it gets rid of one and keeps the other. So fire energy types can be brilliantly selective and choose just the right words to describe what's going on. They can be brilliantly selective. And you often see some of the best communicators are just beautiful with words. So Robin Williams had a lot of fire energy, had a lot of wood energy as well. And he would just choose the words and he would just play around with them. And the problem is that they can also be very unselective about what they do. They can take on far too much, and that's because they're hot and they're passionate. So they say, I'll do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do this, and they take on far too much. And what does fire do when it gets too big? It just expands and expands until it burns out. So that's their danger, that's their problem of burnout. And they love to talk. Sometimes don't listen. And that's a typical wood fire energy face. Turned up nose, smiley thing. Jim Carrey, fire energy type. Smiley face. You can see his turned upness. And they're sometimes the best salespeople. Earth energy is rated to late summer. The energy started to slow down. Lazy, hazy days. The apples don't get bigger, they just get ripe. So the earth energy is about nurturing and nourishment and assimilation, things coming together. People talk. So earth energy is about caring, talking, sharing, customer service. So earth types are nurturing, they're the archetypal mother figure. They can have a problem that they can care too much. Earth energy types love to understand, they love to teach. Metal. Are we doing okay with this? We're getting a sense of them? Yeah? Metal energy types related to autumn. And in autumn, things disconnect, things end, things are missing. So metal energy types love spotting what isn't right and what's missing. They can be regarded as moaners and say, oh, this isn't right, this isn't. But their question is always saying, what's missing? What isn't right? What isn't there? So they are brilliant at doing that, and every business should have one. And you should listen to them. But they can. I just had my wife had a lot of. I was thinking, at least this isn't being filmed. She got a lot of metal energy. I have these brilliant ideas, and I know they're brilliant because they were inside my own head. And she just says, but. And now I know because I know she's a metal energy type, I love her for it, because she is actually doing what she does brilliantly. She's not negative, she just points out how stupid my ideas are. So they're always looking for what's missing. In ancient China, they always put people with a lot of metal energy in charge of the harvest because they hate waste. They love efficiency, hate waste, and they're great at spotting value. That's valuable, that isn't. And because they're always looking to measure and assess value, they'll often choose numbers as a way to do it. So Suki has that metal energy, so he wants to keep things simple. That's what metal energy types, and he wants to measure. All the time measure. I don't care about measuring. I do, because I know I have to, but I don't care about it. I don't wake up in the morning and I think I'll measure this. I don't. I just don't do that. And then we look at alignment, then in balance. In balance, we're going to look at why being in balance is the worst thing you can possibly have in terms of selling. It's the worst thing you can have. So flow is basically, you know when life goes well and things are fine and things are moving along really smoothly? That's when flow's happening. It's easy, it's effortless, it's like going down a stream. But you also have flow when these things move around, the flow of a cycle, from winter into spring to summer into late summer into autumn. So things kind of move around in a cycle. So there are two sorts of flow. Circular flow, and linear flow. Now, alignment basically happens. Alignment basically gives you flow. When things are beautifully aligned, it helps flow. And that's what we've been talking about. We've been talking about your value that's aligned with your business, that's aligned with your offering and your product. They're beautifully aligned. And your history ties in with it, and it ties in with your passion. So all these are beautifully aligned. And that's how you start to get flow. And then your message is aligned with that, and it aligns with the people that you serve. And that's why sometimes some messages just glide, and business is just beautiful, because everything is aligned. And when it's not aligned, you have friction. You have stress, you have discomfort. So when you're under stress and when you're under friction, there's a misalignment going along somewhere. So when you're feeling stress, it could be you don't have the right teams in place, but if it's at a deeper personal level, there is a misalignment going on, and you need to look for where that misalignment going in. Or if people are not buying from you, your message is not aligned with your product and your market. You also hit the target. Think with this arrow, what chance of that hitting the target? Doesn't. That hits the target. So the more aligned you are, the more you're likely to get to where you want to go to. The easier it is, the less resistance, the more flow you have. That's internal alignment. Then you've got external forces. You've got other things kind of going on. The economy. The economy has an energy to it. Yeah? Okay, a recession. It's cold, harsh, it's uncomfortable, it's horrible. What energy is it related to? Winter, yeah. As the economy gets moving and it starts to get going a bit and everything starts to happen, it's spring, it's related to wood. Then the economy really starts to heat up and everything starts happening. Summer, it's fire. Okay, then the economy starts to cool down and you start to have to look after your customers and be more caring about them. Earth energy. Then the economy really cools down and it's all about efficiency and numbers and avoiding waste. What's that? Autumn, metal energy. So the economy has different energies to it. And every particular part of the economy is looking for something. In the winter economy, in the recession, people were looking for safety and authority and they were looking to survive. So if your product was about having fun, don't bother to sell it in the winter, it ain't going to work. You could sell it on the back of safety and survival. So I sold some great products saying, you will survive by keeping your staff happy. I sold them a happy product to help them survive. So in wood energy, you're looking for, people are looking for new and innovative products. We're in the spring phase now of the economy, and this is new. We love this new stuff. Everything is new. That's what people are looking for. Or explaining the rules, challenging the status quo. We're going to do something different. So trying to sell safety now doesn't work quite as well as trying to disrupt and sell and explain new things. Do you get the alignment? In the fire energy, it's about fire energy economy. It's about having a better message. Everything is busy. People are talking. It's all going on. So you have to have a good message in the fire energy economy when it's really busy. You can get away with a rubbish message the rest of the time, kind of. You get punished when the economy is really on fire. Earth energy economy, you've got to have customer service, you've got to look after people, you've got to understand things, you've got to have team buildings. So if you're selling a team building product when the economy is starting to slow down, that's fine. If you're selling a team building product in the middle of a recession, that ain't going to work. Unless your team building product helps the people survive. We okay with this? Is it making sense? Then the metal energy economy you sell on efficiency. It's about saving time, energy and money. Just keep things really efficient and you can sell on that in the economy. We just remember when the economy was slowing right down before the recession, it was all about efficiency products, wasn't it? They were selling like hotcakes. Try and sell them in a spring economy. I'm not interested in efficiency. I'm interested in new ways of doing things. So we looked at you and the economy, and you need to tune your message to the economy. If you have a particular energy of selling and the economy is somewhere difficult, you're going to struggle a bit. So look at the match between your energy and the energy of the economy. Balance. why balance is bad for sales. Okay, so balance is bad for sales because over time, every market starts to get balanced. And what do I mean by balance? Is basically everyone has the same authority. No one has got anything new. Everyone's selling the same sort of stuff. They're kind of sharing it with the same sort of message. Everyone's got roughly the same customer service, and everyone's got the same level of efficiency. So basically what happens is we have that. Your customer sits there, and absolutely nothing happens. There's no movement. There's no gradient for them to move down. So what people do is they drop the price. When they drop the price, you have that. And sales start to happen. If I make it even cheaper, they're falling over themselves to buy. And if I put the price up too high, they're not interested. Drop the price. So people in a balanced market compete on price. Credit card market, balanced. Everyone just said, oh, I'll give you more money. I'll let you borrow it for longer. All these sorts of deals. Richard Branson comes in with his big brand, his big authority, said, trust me, and he cleaned up in the credit card market because he tipped the market. Okay? Apple, they always tip the market on wood energy. Do they say, buy this Apple product because it's cheaper? They say, buy this Apple product because it's new and innovative. They always tip on newness. That's what they do all the time. So you've got to make a choice about what you're deciding to tip the market on. You can tip it in every single direction all at the same time if you want. And this is about, what we're doing here is we're giving you tools to make choices as to how you decide to, what you decide to do, how you decide to sell it, how you decide to share it. And you just, it's like a menu. You think, okay, I'm going to use a fire energy technique to sell in a fire energy stage of the economy. Or I'm going to use a water energy strategy to tip the market. Get to choose how you want to unbalance the market with what you do. Get to choose the message based on the energy you want to have as to how you will share that message. But if you are in an industry where the market is balanced, and most of them are, you have to find a way to unbalance it. And the easiest way to unbalance it is the way that matches your energy type, because that creates the alignment and that creates the flow. If you're trying to unbalance it in a way that doesn't suit your energy type and your personality, people, they smell it, they feel it. It's inauthentic. Okay, so that's the whole, with the energy system, it allows you to choose the way to unbalance the market or to share your message in a way that's aligned with you. And if the economy changes a little bit, then you know what to do. You can just very slightly change your message so it fits with what the economy is asking at that moment in time. So the moment the economy is asking for new, so make it sound new. It could be the same old shit you've been doing for years. Just make it sound new. Just repackage it. Or it's looking for disruption. It's looking for change. This is something that's going to be different from ever before. It's going to disrupt the market. It's challenging perceptions, challenging beliefs. So that's looking at this combination between you, your market, and the economy. You're going to have these slides, so you can look at them and you can work out. And I encourage you just to spend some time and think, okay, what am I doing? How am I sharing it? And is it aligned with me? The vitality test is free. Most of what I do is free.
Where is this vitality test? How do we...
Give me £5 and I'll tell you. The test is free, but I charge you to... No, it's free. We'll get links to you. We'll tell you where it is. You find out your energy type. We'll give you all the slides. We've got lots of help on the website, big membership area, Facebook group, ask as many questions. My mission in life is to get this subject out in the world, okay? Because it is a way to understand complexity and a way to understand each other, a way to create compassion and a way to spot people that are trying to trick you into doing something by using this stuff. So, was that useful? Yeah? Different way of looking at things, takes a bit of time to get used to it, but that's what I do.